What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. Um, I'm gonna, I promise, I'm gonna try to make a video tomorrow, but I just want to say a few quick things. Now, I've been making videos talking about black people exploring the world, and unfortunately, on YouTube, you have a lot of ignorant people like that little weasel Angel Ramirez Jordan, man, who doesn't know what the hell he talking about. He is extremely ignorant, man. He's not an Aboriginal Black American. It's unfortunate that you you have people like that who, no matter how much documentation you have, who's extremely bullheaded and ignorant, and he's not even of a bloodline, man. But you, I've given you my sources over and over again. Dr. Van Serma in 1977 wrote the book. 77 or 76, they came before Columbus. He had three other books that followed that up. I want to say they came before Columbus, Black Presence, or was African Presence in Ancient America. I think it was Black Presence in Ancient America, and then it was they came before Columbus, uh, African Presence in Ancient America Revisited, and then the last one was a reply to his critics. So he did altogether four that I know of dealing with blacks in America. So the second one that he did was in the early 90s, or it might have been in 94. With a book, at the end of the book, it talks about the various different blacks who migrated here to America. It's talking about the Aboriginal blacks or Australoid blacks, the diminutive blacks, and was the modern day blacks regarding the taller blacks, modern day taller blacks, who weren't the what you call the Khoisan type blacks or the Australoid blacks who came here to America. And then it was a fourth group. Um, that book is hard to get because I don't think there's no longer in publication by that publisher because the first one was done by Random House, if I'm correct. So that book, Van Sertima talks about various different black groups that were already here, that migrated here. So he had that in his book. And then the other one, he did a follow up to that one. So then the last one just replied to critics who were distorting his information. So he had four books, not just They Came Before Columbus, which is that one's really, I could say, somewhat outdated because he was describing the people of northern Egypt as being mixed, which they weren't. But he sort of revised that in the later editions. So those are books that you need to get because he elaborates on. But those books are not in circulation no more. I believe it was by Transaction Publishers. I've read those books. I have those books. It's somewhere, but I have it like buried probably in one of my bins. But I have plenty of Van Sertima books. So the black presence in him, he acknowledged that the original people here in America were so-called black people, and there's various different groups that are over here. I've showed pictures of the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, the Yamasee. These are Negroes, man. So anyone who wants to debate this is just being silly. The Yamasee has a connection to what you call the Seminoles and the so-called Gullah Geechee. These are Negroes who are already here. They were already here. And those are the original blacks who were enslaved were the ones that were already here. Not no people came from Africa. They just reclassified those Negroes. They took black people that were already here. But this dumb ass, he continues to do that. He's ignorant, man. He doesn't, obviously he hasn't done no real research. That is an ignorant dude, and he needs to stay out of black Americans' business, man. But there's so much documentation on this. Even what I've done, I've connected to the Mali with the Aztecs. And the Mali to the people, to the cliff dwellers over the Southwest. And he just denies this. This is ignorance, man. You don't listen to people like that. I keep telling you, don't listen to Umar Johnson. Don't listen to Sarah Suzette. Don't listen to Angel Ramirez Jordan. He's a little, His mama is a mix Puerto Rican and his father's Jamaican. This guy has no business speaking our issues, man. He doesn't know what the hell he talking about. I'm gonna continue to bang these stupid Pan-Africans because they're ignorant. All the clothing that these so-called the original Indians wore were Negroes. And our people are not no Native American. They are the Aboriginal blacks. They descend of the Aboriginal blacks who were accumulation of various different black groups that were here. Some of them had wavy straight hair, I said. Some of them had woolly hair. Some of them were enslaved. Some of them weren't enslaved. Some of them owned slaves. Even with the Confederate flag, that has a black origin, with an Aboriginal black origin. Because the original flag, you obviously you see the X and you see the stars, but in the middle it has battle canyons and the names of the Aboriginal tribes there. On the stars and bars, what these white crackers have, they just have an X with the stars. They took that from us, man. But he's too stupid not to even see that. He has not done any true research. He's just regurgitating what some Negro teacher at some HBCU school, which he probably learned from some white teacher at some HBCU school or from Harvard. He's just regurgitating the mess that they're telling him. There have been populations in America for thousands of years. This is nothing new. People have been selling back and forth. Selling, like I mentioned the other day, how people were selling it to Peru and then selling to the Mississippi, then hitting the Illinois Channel or the Ohio Channel to go to various different lakes into region looking for copper and tin here in Americas. That's been done for thousands of years. I'm talking about the various different boats that they use, particularly wooden ships, man, and how we use to navigate them goddamn ships. How they had living quarters when they had like beds inside. They had covers over them, so they weren't just in the open ship. We have living quarters with beds inside, so they can protect themselves from the sun and lay down at night. This information's been there. But you're going to have to do the research. You can't do a simple Google research like this idiot Angel Ramirez Jordan does. That guy is a complete dumbass, man. And do not listen to stuff like that. Please, learn your true history. Do not listen to these little hustlers. Because that's all they're doing. I'm going to continue to bang. I'm going to continue to give you real research. I'm going to continue to get my sources. I'm not going to sit there and regurgitate stuff that I just get a quote get from Google. I'm going to do my deep research. You can quote John Henry Clark all you want. You can quote Dr. Ben Yakin all you want, man. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff they said was wrong. But we're going to have to really do our deep research. We're going to have to do it independently. We can't depend on mainstream Negroes, especially for some Negro whose mother was a mixed Puerto Rican and father Jamaican, and telling black Americans who the hell we are. Man, please. Do your deep-rooted research. The information that I'm going to continue to get my sources. I showed you the book about Malinche and showing that Negro girl, how her name, you play with her name is Molly, how Malinche is close to Mandinka. These names are very similar. So-called black people traveled the world. They traverse the world. They travel all through the planet. Black people were indigenous people to this planet. It's something that some dumbass like him cannot fathom because he hadn't done a research. The Polynesians, the Melanesians, the Micronesians, all these are really Negroes. These are just different names, categories that white folks are giving them. All right? You see the people, you talking about the people in Australia. They have the wavy to straight hair. There's some with woolly hair, but most wavy to straight hair. While the ones in Tasmania had the woolly hair. You see, you have to really get bare knuckles and bare bones to do the real research. And like I said, unfortunately, you get these stupid little hustlers who always want to sell you some things, pimping our people. And that clown is pimping our people. Do not listen to him. Do not listen to Umar Johnson. Do not listen to Sarah Seti. Do not listen to Amara Squad. Do not listen to Dr. Mahat. Do not listen to none of that stuff because they're giving you that Pan-African garbage. They're not being truthful, or most of them don't know and don't care to know that so-called black people travel the damn planet. These white folks are not going to tell you that. They traveled the damn planet and they populated the damn planet and they built empires all over the damn planet. I'm telling you now, learn your true history. I'm going to continue to give sources. I'm going to give you sources about Mounds. I'm going to give you information about various different Aboriginal blacks that were here, books that deal with them. You got to do full research. You cannot be idiots like Angel Ramirez Jordan. No one ever said, I don't know, I've never heard no one say that people were around during Pangea. There was very different supercontinents, Rhodina, Columbia. Then when Pangea broke up, then you had the northern part was Laurasia, Eurasia, and the southern part was Gondwanaland. No one ever said that people, well, I've never heard no one say that people was around with Pangea. You might have some knuckles that say that, but I never said that. But the population, people here in Americas were here thousands of years before. See, in order to cover up our history, they need to come with a bunch of lies. One of the lies they kept talking about these breeding farms. That's the way they were trying to explain away the Aboriginal black population here by stripping their identity and also stealing their land. Another way to basically lie when you play in a role, you told me you increase the number of so-called slaves here. Now, like I said, not only you downplay the Aboriginal blacks, but the Moorish blacks were here. Man, all you gotta do is look at the Yamasi. Them Negroes are wearing fezzes and they wear turbans in their damn head. There's plenty of different Cherokee chiefs that had freaking turbans on their damn head and they were unquestionably black. Do not listen to idiots like Angel Ramirez Jordan. He's an idiot. But unfortunately, so many people listen to that fool. He's a moron. He's an idiot, man. Do not listen to that little jackass. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'll challenge you, brothers and sisters. I beg of you, do not listen to these individuals, man. They give you misinformation. And by them doing this purposely, man, that tells you, man, that they're no good, conniving, evil little pimping, hustling thieves of our community. And we need to purge these bastards out of our community. I'm saying this, man, and I'm saying this with my heart. Wake the hell up. Do your research. Do your research. I said, I can't stand Pan-African. I can't stand when some of these black so-called professionals or so-called intellectuals want to Africanize everything. That's sad. But this is how these Negroes get down. So I'm telling you now, learn your goddamn history, please. It's so wonderful when I started learning about how our brothers and sisters sailed around the world in ships, man. In ships. Not just little boats, in ships, man. I thought that was so awesome. And it amazed me, and it made me search for more. You have to do the real research. I showed you the Indians in the Midwest, so-called Fox Indians. That's not the original name, but the so-called Fox Indians. I showed you them. They live in Wisconsin. Here in America, we have what's known as, in Illinois, Chicagoland area, we have something called the Fox Valley region. And I also mentioned the terminology, I want to say that's the Naperville area, the Fox Valley region, but I also mentioned that we have the Sauk Indians. We have Sauk Trail, Illinois, named after the Sauk Indians. We have that. We still have some of them names here in America, but they tell you that them people are originally Negroes. They don't tell you that, man. They don't tell you that. But you're going to have to do research. Angel Ramirez Jordan is a jackass. He's literally a jackass who don't know nothing. who haven't studied nothing, who not done the real research. Like I said, you cannot Google this information. You cannot go to Wikipedia in this information. That is not good source. You have to take your ass to the library. You're going to have to do some good deep research. You're going to have to get some journals or pay for books. I mean, some of these books are older books. You can use newer books, but you're going to have to get journals, articles from newspapers, magazines. You're going to have to put in the research. You can't just sit up there and do a Google search like that dumb idiot is doing. You have to do real research. I'm going to try to do another video tomorrow. Peace and love, brothers and sisters.